Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 2 of APH's Virtual Excel Camp. Let's give everyone a moment to get comfortable in their room or chair or wherever situation you're in and get ready to learn. As you all are getting set up and ready, I'd like to remind everyone to set their chat to all panelists and attendees or everyone. That way, everyone in the audience can see what folks are sharing with each other. My name is Jeff Schwartz, and I'm with APH Outreach Services. We are very happy to have everyone with us today. This week, our theme is Oreos and Abacii Camp for ages 5 through 8. This is our target group, but anyone is allowed to join in on the learning, so we're happy to have you here. At this time, I'm going to turn things over to our teachers for this week, Miss Amy and Miss Nina. Take it away.
Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome back today. This is Miss Amy speaking.
Hi everyone, this is Miss Nina. Nice to be back today.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and project our slides.
All right, we can see it.
Let me unmute myself. Okay. So today, day 2 for Amazing Oreos. We're going to start there with an Oreo fun fact. On my slide, I have the tallest cookie tower shown. It is outlined in yellow on the right-hand side of my slide. The tallest cookie tower measured 1.83 meters, which is the same as 6 feet and 1/8 inches tall, and was constructed by the Girl Scouts of Nassau County at the Roosevelt Field Mall in Garden City, New York, which is in the United States. I don't think we have anyone who lives in New York here. Miss Nina and I are near New York here in Maryland, but probably about a 3-hour drive. This happened on January 9th, 2010. 22,800 cookies, and that's a lot of cookies, were used to build the tower. 60 Girl Scouts participated in shifts of 2 hours each. The tower is built like a pyramid and is a triangular shape with a wide base on the bottom that gets thinner as it goes up. I think we're going to talk about that some more in a bit with Miss Nina.
Yep. I cannot believe how many cookies they use. I can't even imagine how many cookies that is. 22,800? How many boxes of cookies did that take, I wonder? What a big tower. Pretty cool. Thank you, Miss Amy. All right, friends. So we're going to do a chat box check next, because that's one way that we can check in with each other and you guys can answer questions and let us know what you're doing. All right, so we're going to start with our chat box check today. The question is, what is the weather like where you live today? We are all over the place, right? We all live somewhere different. So is it hot, really hot outside today? Or is it kind of cool outside today where you live? Is it super sunny and bright? Is it rainy or getting ready to rain? Or is it windy? If it's hot, you can type in H if you want to do a shortcut. If it's cool, you can do a C, sunny for S, R for rainy, and W for windy. I would have to type an H and an S because it is very hot and very sunny out by my house today. In fact, it's so hot, I don't want to go outside. Oh, I see sunny, hot, hot. Oh, cold. Oops, I almost missed one. Cold this morning, but hot this afternoon. I kind of like it when it's chillier in the morning. Sunny. Jana says cold and cloudy now. Oh, but there'll be sun and some warm weather later. Awesome. And Luke says it's hot where he lives. Sunny and hot. Great. Looks like it's hot for a lot of us, but there was a couple that had some chilly mornings. Awesome.
Chili would be welcome here because like Miss Nina said, here in Maryland, it has been hot and humid, meaning
Yeah.
it's almost sticky. There's so much water in the air. Not raining, but just feeling wet.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for answering that in the chat. All right, guys, we're getting ready already for our abacus time with Miss Amy. Go ahead and grab your abacus. Hopefully, friends who hadn't gotten theirs yet got it yesterday. Hopefully it came in the mail after class and you can have it for today. Go ahead and grab that and we're going to get ready for our abacus time with Miss Amy.
So Miss Amy actually did get her abacus in the mail yesterday, and it is really super big. And I love it because you can just see it so well, and the beads, you can feel them so well. I'll show you the difference and I'll tell you the difference between the abacus I had before, and it's hard to see on video, and the abacus I have now. So this one that I'm holding right now is the large abacus, and it's probably, oh, I don't know, 4 inches maybe. I'm really a bad estimate at these things, by maybe 6 or 8 inches, where my small one is just, it fits inside of my big one. Look at that.
I have the large one.
All right. Hopefully we gave you enough time to find your Abacii that we can move on to our objectives for the day. So just like yesterday, we're going to review, and we are going to be able to identify the 1 beads, the 5 beads, and the separation bar. I will show everybody and explain that again when we get there. We will also be able to count and set to the number 10 on the abacus. Yesterday, we got to 6. Today, we will get to 10. So to get us ready for abacus learning, let's go on with our abacus chant. Is everybody ready? So we gotta get our beat going. Ready? Maybe everybody can get the beat going with me. I'm hitting my table, then clapping my hands. A-B-A-C-U-S. I'm gonna rock my abacus.
Everyone, repeat it with me. Ready? A-B-A-C-U-S. I'm gonna rock my abacus.
Excellent. I'm getting in the mood. This time, I'm gonna just say it, and then I'm gonna let Miss Nina and you guys just take over, and let's just do it like an echo. You ever heard of an echo where I say something and then you say it right back? This chant is like an echo. So here we go. A-B-A-C-U-S. I'm gonna rock my abacus.
A-B-A-C-U-S. I'm gonna rock my abacus.
Love it. Let's go to counting now. We're gonna change our chant to I'm gonna count on my abacus. A-B-A-C-U-S. I'm gonna count on my abacus.
A-B-A-C-U-S. I'm gonna count on my abacus.
One last round. This time, we're gonna learn. So I'm gonna learn on my abacus. And just to remind everybody, that A-B-A-C-U-S, that spells abacus. So our chant is helping us learn some spelling too. All right, let's go for our last round. Ready? A-B-A-C-U-S. I'm gonna learn my abacus.
A-B-A-C-U-S. I'm gonna learn my abacus. Woo!
I hope you guys joined in at home. That's excellent. So let me flip my slide. Oh, nope, I went
Not
too
yet.
far. I'm going to stop my share right now. And I'm going to actually shift over to my Abacus in just a moment for my Abacus cam. But one thing that I wanted to point out that we didn't talk about yesterday was that learning how to use an abacus is considered what's called, it's kind of a hard word, a compensatory skill in our ECC, which is the expanded core curriculum. I don't know if any of you have ever heard that, but it's a really important set of skills that we learn to make sure that we can access things and just level the playing field for everyone. Accommodations, it's lots of different areas, but this is a compensatory skill in our ECC. I'll remind you of that on another day, just so we can get it in our mind. These skills are super important skills. All right, I'm going to switch to my Abacus now. So if we could pin the Abacus video, that would be great. Here we are. So I have my Abacus in front of me. Again, we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about placement of our Abacus. On the top of my Abacus are the beads that I can feel, the ones that move. We talked about beads yesterday, but in case we have anyone new, we're going to go back to scratch and just do a reminder and also to help anybody who hasn't seen. The bottom of my Abacus is smooth, and the bottom smooth part is going to go on my table. The 5 beads are at the top. They're a single row of beads that go across the top of my Abacus. I have a separation bar that splits my sets of beads. So the 5 beads are on the top, and then I have 4 1 beads on the bottom. And the bottom of my Abacus is closest to my body on the table. Now, my Abacus also has rods. My first rod that I am going to talk about is all the way on the right-hand side of my Abacus. The rod contains 4 1 beads, and then above the separation bar, 1 5 beads. This is my ones column. We worked on our ones column yesterday because we were counting by ones. To count by 1, we need to take our pointer finger and place it on the very top 1 bead in that very first column or rod, the one in the ones column. And we are going to push the 1 bead closest to the separation bar up to touch the separation bar. So I'm going to do that. My finger is on my top 1 bead, and I'm going to push up to the top till it stops at the separation bar. And that has me setting a 1. To set a 2, I come back down to my remaining 3 1 beads. I pick the top bead again, and I'm going to push it up to touch the 1 bead that I had pushed up to the separation bar. And now I have 1 2 beads that are my 1 beads that are touching the separation bar. I've got my 1 beads split. I've got 2 of them touching my separation bar, showing that I have a 2 set on my Abacus, and 2 of them are at the bottom of my Abacus still. I'm going to go ahead and push up the next one and make it 3. 1 2 3. Can you all count 3 1 beads touching your separation bar toward the bottom of your Abacus? And then to complete that, I'm going to push my last bead up to make 4. 1 2 3 4. And at the bottom, underneath my 4th bead, you'll feel the rod at the bottom of your Abacus. Hopefully everybody's following along. If you're not, please let me know in the chat with an N for no that you are not following along, and I will go over it again. All right, we're going to clear our Abacus. Oh, another important thing that I taught yesterday. When we start counting on our abacus, we want to make sure that it is all clear. And if it's all clear, that means that you can feel the rod on the bottom of the separation bar all the way across. And also right above the separation bar, because our 5 beads, they're actually pushed up to the top all the way. And our 1 beads are pushed all the way to the bottom. Sometimes I like to do a scramble where I have everybody set, just beads everywhere. You can just push all your beads in. Make them go all over your abacus. So I took all my beads and I just put them all over the place. And then when I say all clear, we're going to push all of our 1 beads all the way down and all of our 5 beads all the way up. So everybody do that, all clear. And our abacus should be all clear at that point and set and ready to count again. All right, let's start in that 1 column again, and let's just go through counting 1 through 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we have no more 1 beads now. And if I want to count to 5, I have to think about my 5 bead now. So what we learned yesterday is we come up to the top where our 5 bead is located, still in our 1s column. We are going to push our 5 bead down to the separation bar, but we do not stop there. We also need to continue to bring your finger down to our 1s and push them all the way back down so that they are not touching the separation bar anymore. You have a space between your 1 beads and your separation bar, but your 5 bead is now set and touching the separation bar on the top. That sets a 5. Let's do that again. Let's go ahead and clear our 5 bead and let's count to 5 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My finger comes up to my 5 bead all the way at the top. I'm pulling my 5 bead down, but it doesn't stop there. I'm pulling my finger all the way down to pull my 1 beads away from the separation bar and all the way down. So now I've counted to 5 and only my 5 bead is touching my separation bar. Okay, let's think. Let's make a prediction. I have a 5 bead set right now, if you're following along with me. How would I make a 6 on my abacus? Can you think about it? Well, some of us have started doing addition by 1s. When we're counting, we count by 1s. So if I have 5 and I add a 1, that makes 6. So I have 5 set, and to make it 6, I bet a lot of you already figured it out. You need to bring your finger back down to the 1 beads and you push your first 1 bead back up. Now I have my 5 bead touching my separation bar and one of my 1 beads in my very first column, my 1s column. And that makes 5 on the top plus 1 on the bottom is 6. I bet you guys already know what 7 is. In my 1s column, let's add 1 more 7 bead. Now we have 7. My 5 bead plus 2 1 beads, 5 plus 2 equals 7. So we can count 5, 6, 7. We can add another 1 bead to make 8. And my last bead to make 9. Now I have all of my beads pushed against my separation bar on my abacus in my 1s column. Let's clear it and let's try and count from 1 all the way to 9 together.
Ready.
Ready? All right, here we go. So we're all clear. Let's start with our 1 bead and count to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm bringing my 5 bead down and I'm swiping all the 1 beads down to the bottom. Then I'm taking my top 1 bead and going 6, pushing it up to the separation bar. 7, 8, and 9. Again, your abacus in the ones column all the way to the right, your very first column on the right should have the 5 bead pushed down to the separation bar and 1, 2, 3, 4 1 beads pushed all the way up to the separation bar. Hopefully everybody's following along. I have another question for you. Let's think. I have 9. Can I add anything else in this column? I have no more beads to add. I can't push anything else to my separation bar. So how will we make 10? What do you think? What are your predictions? How do we go from 9 in our ones column to the number 10? All right, maybe some of you have thought, in order to make a 10, I have to take away the 9 in my ones column. So clear your ones column to 0. 1 column to the left of the ones column, we are now on our second column from the right, is called your tens column. To put a 10, we need to put 1 bead against the separation bar in the tens column. So not in our ones column, we're 1 column to the left of that column. We have now taken a 1 bead and put that 1 bead against the separation bar. So that gives me 1 10. I have a 1 in my tens column and I have 0 in my ones column. And if you think about the number 10, when you write it, you have a 1 and a 0 together. Okay, let's start from 1 and see if we can go from 9 then to 10. And I'll remind you when we get there. So let's clear our abacus. Put our finger on our ones column, on our 1 bead closest to the separation bar, and we'll count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, slide them all down. So I just slid all my ones down away from the separation bar. To make 6, I'm going to start with my ones again. 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I have my 5 bead and 4 of my 1 beads touching the separation bar. So I can count 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9. Remember our movement for our 10. We need to I like to pinch my 2 fingers together and put them on the separation bar and then push the bottom and the top, the 5 bead and the 1 beads in the opposite direction. I sometimes say squish because I'm squishing them back to the top and the bottom. I believe that is it frozen for everybody?
Frozen. It
Okay.
froze.
Okay. Well, maybe it'll catch back up. But what I just did was I cleared my 9s column by squishing my 5 bead to the top and pushing all of my 1s to the bottom. And then I'm moving my finger over to my 10s column, which is 1 column to the left, and putting my 1 bead up against the separation bar in that column. So I have 1 in my 10s column and 0 in my 1s column.
It froze again.
It's still frozen. Am I frozen or is it just my video?
Just the Abacus video. It unfroze and it froze again right before you pushed up.
That's okay. Let
You
me
want me to
see
next
if
time?
I can, for the very last time we're going to count, put my abacus up to the screen because I now have this really great big abacus and hopefully everybody can see it. Okay. And actually, let me check my abacus cam one more time. Yeah, I think it's still frozen. So that's okay. So let's go ahead and clear our abacii. Remember, abacii is plural, more than one abacus. An abacus is just one. So I have my abacus in my hand. I have it cleared. I'm starting all the way to the right with my pointer finger on my one bead, and I'm going to start counting by pushing my one beads towards the separation bar. Are you ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Coming up to the 5 bead, pushing it down, but also in the same swipe, pushing all of my one beads down. So now I have 5. Going back to my one beads in my one column, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, somebody is just in the chat told me that my camera is showing me to the left. It's flipped.
Mhm.
Okay, let me
So
go.
it looks like you're on the left.
What about if I'm here?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, I'm sorry. It looks normal to me from my side. Okay, I think we were on 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now I have all of the beads in my ones column touching my separation bar, and that made 9. Here is my squish. I take my fingers like a pincer grasp. I don't know if anyone knows what that is, but it's kind of like making a little guy out of my pointer finger and my thumb. It's like he's talking blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to put it on my separation bar. And with one movement, I'm going to practice this, moving my 5 bead up and my 1 bead down at the same time. That takes some practice. That took me a long time. And then coming over to my tens column and putting 1, 10 in that column. So one of my 1 beads and my tens column is now touching the separation bar. And I have 0 beads touching the separation bar in my ones column. And that makes the number 10.
Awesome job, guys.
Excellent. Thank you for counting with me.
So we're going to set our abacus aside, but don't put it away completely because we're going to be using it again at the end of our Oreo experiment. We're actually going to be using that again. So set it aside somewhere where you can easily get to it again. Okay? All right. So now we're going to get ready for our STEM time. And we're doing another activity with Oreos today. But this time we need a bunch of Oreos, because we're going to be making Oreo towers. Let's go to the next slide and I'll read you guys the objectives. Today, we will conduct multiple trials of our experiment and collect data to share with the group. Can we go to the next slide, Miss Amy? Perfect. Oh. There we go. Then we're going to organize that data to determine the most common number of Oreos in our Oreo towers. So we might be able to build some really tall towers. They might fall over after just a few Oreos. I don't know. We're going to each get to conduct our experiment a few times, and then we're going to share and gather our data. But before we build our Oreo towers, we're going to take a look at some pictures of some tall buildings from around the world. So on our next slide, we've got a diagram. On our next slide, we've got a diagram that shows us pictures of some of the tallest buildings throughout the world. It shows us the shape of those buildings, and it puts them in order from the shortest building to the tallest building. Perhaps you've heard of some of these buildings. Our diagram includes the Great Pyramid of Giza, the Eiffel Tower in Paris, the Empire State Building in New York, the Petrona Towers in Kuala Lumpur, the Taipei 101 building in Taipei, the World Trade Centers in New York, the Willis Tower in Chicago, the CN Tower in Toronto. It has a TV mast and a radio mast, which are very thin and tall. And it has the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. Some of these buildings I had not heard of before, but I've heard of a few of them. Give me a thumbs up or some kind of emoji in the chat if you have been to any of these buildings or heard of any of them. Let me give a thumbs up because I've heard of a few of them, but I have not been to any of them. Oh, maybe nobody's heard of any of them. I'm not sure. Oh, I see a Y, yes. Oh, Annalise says heard of the Eiffel Tower. Tiana gave a yes. Heard of some of them. Only heard of the Eiffel Tower. Some of them are pretty well-known landmarks. Good. All right. Well. Oh, wow, Luke has seen the Burj Khalifa. Wow, I've only gotten to see it in pictures. Awesome. What I notice about many of these buildings is that they start off with a wider base at the bottom, and then they get thinner as they get taller. It reminds me, some of these buildings kind of remind me of like a triangle shape, okay? On our next slide, we've outlined some of the buildings that have a really triangular shape. The buildings that really start off wider at the bottom and get skinnier at the top. And we're gonna act out a couple of these with our bodies so we can kind of get an idea of how they're shaped, all right? So we're gonna start with our smallest one in our diagram, the Great Pyramid of Giza, first building in the diagram, and it's about 150 meters tall, and it has a really wide base, all right? So I want you guys to get ready. Make sure you have a little bit of space around you because I'm going to be asking you to stretch your arms out to your sides really wide. So I'm sticking my arms out on the left and the right, straight out to my sides. I want you guys at home to do that also, okay? Our arms are stretched out because our pyramid has a really wide base. And then I'm going to bring my hands together as I'm lifting my hands up, almost like I'm making a triangle right in front of me. So the shape of my pyramid is a wide base, up to a point on top. A really wide triangle. Making a triangle in front of my body. Go ahead and stretch your arms back out to the sides and do that motion again. And make the biggest, widest triangle you can. Okay. All right, so that's the shape of our pyramid. I'm gonna move back a little bit from my table so I have more room. All right, the next one we're gonna act out is the Eiffel Tower, which a few of you have heard of or perhaps seen. And that is a little over 300 meters tall. So it's actually twice as tall as the pyramid already, okay? And it has a wide base also, but it's not as wide as the pyramid. So we're actually going to start with our arms kind of bent at our sides. So we can kind of just hold our arms at our sides and bend our arms. That's going to be our base. About as wide as our shoulders. We don't have to stretch our arms out. And I'm going to quickly start to bring my hands together as I go up. But I'm not going to go up as high as I can because this is not our tallest building. There's lots of buildings taller than the Eiffel Tower. All right, I'm going to do that one again. My hands are bent at my sides. That's my base. I'm going to bring my hands up together so they're touching. Okay, that's our Eiffel Tower. We're going to skip some of these buildings and we're going to go right to the tallest building in the world. We're going to act it out. The Burj Khalifa in Dubai. It is 828 meters tall. It has the world record for being the tallest building. It has 160 levels that people can live in or stay in. I cannot imagine having to ride an elevator up 160 floors. I think it would take forever. This building is so tall. It has a really unique Y-shaped base, but from the side, it looks like a very, very tall triangle. So what we're gonna do to act this one out, we're gonna start with the base a little bit wider than our shoulders. So I'm gonna put my arms to my side and spread them out just a little bit. The base is wider. I'm gonna get closer. And then I'm gonna bring my arms up and my hands will meet. I'm making a triangle, but this time I'm gonna stretch as far as I can because it's so tall. I'm gonna get myself as tall as I can. I might even stand up if I have space and tiptoe because I wanna act out the tallest building. I'm gonna stand up and reach all the way up. All right, so it comes to a point at the top. It has a wider base and it's like triangular shapes, goes all the way up and it's super tall. Awesome job acting those out, guys. A lot of our buildings are that shape. But on our next slide, we're going to see that some of our buildings are actually more like a stack, straight up and down. All right, their base and the top seems to be the same width. So we're going to act that out too, so we can see how that feels a little bit different. We're going to act out the World Trade Centers. These buildings are the same width at the bottom and at the top. So I'm going to start with my arms about shoulder width apart at my sides. I have my arms at my sides, and I'm just going to go straight up. My hands are not going to touch. My arms are going straight up and whoop, like a tube. All right. The same width at the bottom as on the top. My hands never touch. All right. You guys can do that a few times. That's kind of the shape of that building. And that's the shape of the TV and the radio masts that I had mentioned before that are very tall and thin. They're also the same width on the bottom as they are on top. They just go straight up. All right. And that's kind of the shape of the towers that we're going to be building today. We're going to be taking our Oreos in just a little bit and stacking them up one on top of the other, all right, to make a tower. And we're going to find out how tall can we make our Oreo towers before they come crumbling down, okay? All right, so on our next slide, it's going to show us the materials that we will need for this tower experiment. Here, Miss Amy's going to tell you about them.
Okay, for this experiment, and on the slide, it shows what we need. We need Oreos, and you probably need a bunch of Oreos, as many as you think. Yeah, I have my box with me too. So I don't know how many I can stack, but I might be able to stack a lot. So have many of them around if they are there for you. And then what I want to build on is a cookie sheet from the kitchen or some surface that helps define my space so that I have my Oreos in one place and then I can build my tower on that. Also, sometimes the Oreos, they're a little powdery and can make a mess, and this will help contain the mess. So everybody go ahead and take a minute or two, if you don't already have your materials, to go ahead and get them.
Okay, get my pan and my Oreos. You guys can give us a thumbs up or a Y for yes, you're ready after you've gotten your Oreos and your pan to build them in. See, Tiana's ready. Awesome. Angelina's ready. Thank you. Oh, I'm excited to see how tall our towers can be. I have to tell you, so that tallest cookie tower that Miss Amy showed us in the beginning that had like 2,800 cookies, and it was built with a big base and it got thinner at top. Well, there's another record. There's a record for stacking Oreos, one on top of each other like we're gonna do. And I think the record is like 42. That's a huge difference. When you stack them up one on top of each other, I guess we can't get it quite as tall. I wonder if any of us are gonna beat that record today, Miss Amy. I don't know, it's a world record, I don't know. We're gonna try.
Awesome. Okay. Hopefully everybody has what they need at this point in front of them.
Yep.
I'm getting mine. I actually
It's from
don't have a lot
yesterday.
of space, so I'm going to use the same little container I had as yesterday to build my tower in. And so we are going to start to try and build our first tower.
We have a video actually first to show.
Oh, I forgot about the video. Maybe. Always forgetting. So here, let's look and see first.
Okay, so now we're going to show you what we need for our Oreo tower experiment. I have a pan, so my cookies, if they fall, don't make a mess on my table. You might want to use a pan underneath your towers also. You can put tin foil in the bottom, or you can leave your pan plain. You put some white parchment paper underneath.
Ooh, that's a good skill for visual efficiency because white paper and brown cookies make for a good contrast.
Awesome. All right, so for our cookie towers, we're going to try and build the tallest tower we can before it falls over. And we're going to count the cookies as we place them. We're going to stack one cookie on top of the other. If you need to use your other hand to find your tower, that's fine, but we're not going to hold our tower to keep it from falling. Are you ready? So I'm going to start. I'm going to put my first cookie down. 1, 2, 3. I wonder how tall I can make it. 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's getting a little bit wobbly. 7.
I like the way you're not touching it, Miss Nina, in
Just finding
between.
my tower. 8, 9. Oh no! It fell over. I'm gonna do this a few more times and see how tall I can make my tower. That one was 9 Oreos tall. You guys ready?
Let's go.
All right, we can stop the screen share because Miss Amy and I are going to be building towers right along with you guys. So in my example, I got to 9 Oreos before I kind of accidentally bumped it and it came crashing down. All right, so what you guys are going to do is when you build your first tower after it falls, you're going to type in the chat and let us know how many Oreos tall it was. And I'm going to be writing down all those answers, okay?
All right, so here we go. At home, start your towers.
Great. I won't count out loud.
Ooh,
Oh, Luke, wow. Already you had a tower that was 12 Oreos tall. I'm impressed. Okay, I'm gonna mark that down. We're gonna do this a few times, but we wanna know your answer each time. Uh-oh, did anyone hear mine crash?
I'm at 8 so far. I need more cookies to get
Mine
on.
was 11.
Good thing I have them right here.
All right, so I see that Luke's was 12. Does anyone else have a completed tower? And let us know how tall it was. And type that number right into the chat and I'll be collecting that information. Wow, Miss Amy.
I have 13 so far.
Wow.
Oh, I'm
Angeline got a tower with 10. Awesome job.
worried. Oh
Miss
my goodness.
Miss Amy's tower. Pretty tall, but a little bit wobbly.
Oh, it's gone and it fell over at 15. Wow.
What did you say, Miss Amy?
15. Miss Nina.
Okay, I'll tell you that. So we have a 12, a 10, a 15 from Miss Amy. Can anyone else type in their number? Hey, everyone's doing a great job. Ooh, okay. Oh, wow. Someone already did 3 times and 11 and 9 and 12. All right. So if you've already built one tower and you've told us the number, go ahead and build your second tower and then tell us the number, and then your third tower and tell us the number. All right.
This time I'm going to
Yeah.
just right on.
That 11 and And I'm going to be tallying it. Thank you, Annalise. 11, 9, and 12. Awesome. Jamie, got a tower with 9. Go ahead and build another one. Whoa, I see a tower with 17. Oh my goodness. Let me go mark that. And a tower with 10 from Tiana. Thank you.
Oh, that was 13 for my second one.
All right, I'll mark it, Miss Amy. I see an 11 from Jamie. Great. Wow. You guys are making some tall towers. I'll try my second one.
After we make our towers, we can practice some activities of daily living. Another important part of your ACC by cleaning up.
Yes, I'm getting crumbs everywhere. All right, I just built my second tower and it was 11. So I added that in. If you haven't built your third tower yet, you can go ahead and build that. Whoa, Luke, 18. Oh my goodness. All right, I marked that down. So by the end, everyone should have done it 3 times. If you're having a ton of fun and you really think you can beat your score, go ahead and do it a 4th time. That is fine. We're collecting all the data.
That was 12 for me, Miss
All
Nina,
right.
on my 3rd round.
Okay. Oh, I see another 10. Great. Oh my goodness. All right. 17 again, and a 10, and a 10, and a 13. You guys are doing great. I got to do my 3rd time.
See that 18 too. Wow, you guys are
Oh, wow.
great. Great builders. 10, 11. These are all really tall. 9.
Ooh, 13. I got to mark that. Thank you. As you build it, just type it in the chat. And I am writing it down. Oh, my 3rd one fell. Okay. My 3rd one was 10, so I added that in. Another 10. Okay. Great job, guys. We're going to give about 1 more minute in case you need to finish building your towers or in case you wanted to sneak one more in there. And tell us how tall it is. That's fine. Another 10. All right. Thank you, Day. Awesome. I don't know how that person got 42. I guess no wonder it's a record.
One thing that I noticed is I could feel some of my Oreos were not perfectly flat. Some of them
Right.
tilted a little bit. Maybe the cream on the inside wasn't as flat as it could be. And I think that that might have caused my tower to tilt a little.
Yeah,
So maybe that person had perfectly straight Oreos.
maybe.
Ooh, 10.
16. All right, let me mark that. You guys have done a great job. All right, so what we're going to do, and it's okay if you're still putting a number in, I can quickly add that in. We're going to share our screen again, and we're going to show you the template for a picture graph, and that's where we are going to fill in our information. So I've been marking it down. All right, so Miss Amy's showing you it's currently blank. The title of our picture graph is Oreo Tower Height, right? How tall is our Oreo towers? Oops, let me mark that. Next one. Okay, on the bottom, I have the numbers 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I know we had some towers that were bigger than 13. So I have another page that we can continue on. We weren't sure how tall you guys would make your towers. So we've got our numbers on the bottom, and that tells us the number of Oreos used in the tower. And we have a little Oreo picture that we're going to use to represent our people. How many people built a tower of that height, okay? And so we're going to start dragging down the Oreos. You know what, Miss Amy, we can change our key. The one Oreo picture can just equal one person's tower because we don't have any that have
So many.
people that we can't fit it on our page. Yep.
Okay.
All right, and Caleb, I see you've got 8, and I've added that into our data. Thank you. So, oh, you know what, Miss Amy, you can't change it on the key. I can change it on the key over here. I'm sorry. All right, let me know if you can see it changing, Miss Amy. All right, does it say that the one Oreo picture equals one person's tower?
It's saying 2 on mine still, but sometimes it has to catch up.
Yeah, I might have to catch up. All right, and I'm gonna go back and see if there's any more in the chat. Yeah, it didn't change. You know what we can do, Miss Amy?
Reshare.
If you stop the view.
Yeah.
Yeah, or reshare, because I might not catch up.
I will reshare. Oh, you know what? I may need to refresh my slide.
Okay. All right. So once that's going to refresh, but I'm going to explain to you guys what we're going to be doing in this picture graph, okay? So I've been writing down everyone's answers. I've been keeping myself a little tally so I don't miss any. And we're going to start dragging down the Oreos so that we can show how many people built a tower with that number of Oreos. Miss Amy, if it won't refresh on your end, I can always share on my end. Just let me know.
I think I'm working it out. So just
Okay,
give me a
perfect.
sec.
And so we can count along with Miss Amy as she drags the Oreos down, and I will tell her how many since I've got all the information right here. And you guys built some really great towers. Thank you guys.
All right. Sorry, I'm a little slow.
All right.
Okay, let's try this. And then
Okay, there it is. And we'll go back one slide because we're going to start with our smaller numbers.
there we go.
Okay, so there was one person, huh? Miss Amy, I'm a little bit worried that it won't. I'm going to be adding it on my end, but tell me, can you see this when I drag it down? Did you see the Oreo move, guys? Miss Amy?
No.
Okay, all right. So if we run this not on the share, like not on the view, then we can edit it.
Yeah. So stop. I'm going to stop my share. We'll just talk about it and then we can project it afterward, I think.
Here, I'm going to share it like this. Here we go. Ready?
Yep.
I'm just not going to run it in view. So it is a little bit smaller.
Oh, okay.
Not taking up my whole screen, but now you guys can see it as it moves. All right. So one person built a tower with 8 Oreos. So I've dragged down my Oreo above the 8 to show that one person built a tower of 8. 2 people built a tower with 9 Oreos. So I'm dragging down. Whoop, there we go. 2 people built a tower of 9. You won't believe this one, guys. 8 of you built a tower with 10. I've got to drag over 8 of these Oreos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my goodness. 6. I fit them in. I will. 7. I'm going to cover up our title a little bit. 8. Oh my goodness. That was a lot of us who got a tower of 10. 4 of us built towers with 11 Oreos. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 people built a tower with 12 Oreos. I'm going to drag over 3. And actually 3 people built a tower of 13 as well. So I've got to drag over 3 again. This chat is in my way. I'm going to close it. There we go. All right. So on this page, wow. Looks like 10 was the most popular number on this page. All right. Some of you built towers higher than 13. See, I stopped our picture graph there because I was thinking, no way anyone can build a tower taller than that. But some of you did. So I'm going to quickly jump ahead to our next page so I can mark them. We had one person build a tower that was 15 Oreos tall. We had one person build a tower that was 16 Oreos tall. 2 people, believe it or not, got a tower that was 17 Oreos tall. And our tallest tower of the day was 18 Oreos tall. That's pretty incredible. That's our tallest one. All right, so here's our picture graph. I'm going to go back to the page that had a lot of our data on there. This seems to be about where most of our towers were, kind of between that 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 range. We are short on time, but we do have 3 questions we wanted to ask you guys. We're going to fill in the answer, and then those are numbers that we want you guys to practice at home on your Abacus. All right, so our questions are, how many Oreos were in the shortest tower? You guys can type the answer in the chat. How many Oreos were in our shortest tower? Anyone know the answer to that? Our shortest tower today, thank you, was 8 Oreos tall. All right, so I'm going to put in 8. All right, and I know you guys can count to 8 on your Abacus. We're not going to do it right this moment because we got to get all our answers in. But that's going to be a number we want you guys to try and set on your Abacus when we're all done. What is the, let me see the question, the number that occurred most often, our most popular tower height? That's our mode. Okay, Caleb, thank you. Got it, 10. That was our most popular tower height. Good job. All right, I'm going to add that in. So most of us made towers that were 10 Oreos tall. Good. And our last question, how many Oreos were in our tallest tower ever? I'm going to go to our second page so we can look to see where our Oreos ended at. Our tallest tower of the day was, who remembers? Thank you, Angeline. 18. Great job. Oh, I know you guys can count to 8 on your Abacus. I know you can count to 10 on your Abacus. It's going to be a challenge to count to 18 on your Abacus. Maybe tomorrow, Amy will show us. You guys can check your work. Awesome. So some questions to think about, and Miss Amy and I were already thinking about it a little bit. What would you do differently when we get off? If you're going to make one more tower and you really want to try and beat that record of 18, what could you do differently to make your stack taller? Are you going to go slower and really make sure they're all lined up? Are you going to find your flattest Oreos? Make sure none of them have too much filling. And if you had an unlimited number of cookies and you could make your tower into any shape or design you want, what would you make your base look like? I think I would make mine wider and see if that kept my tower from falling over so fast. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, a house. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can make it like a rectangle shape or a square shape. Awesome idea. Well, you guys have all these Oreos that you've already touched, and you guys can sit there with your pan and try and make some different shaped towers or different height towers when we get off today. You guys have done a great job. Thank you. And I know we're just about out of time, but we did want to tell you guys we have a really cool extension activity today on Flipgrid. I don't know if I can pull it up here. We would like you guys to use maybe the same Oreos you were just building your tower with and create a model of your Abacus. And take a picture of it and send it to us. We have a video in here that you guys can watch after class to see an example that Miss Amy and I did. But it'd be really cool to use these Oreos and use them as the beads of your Abacus and to show us the 1 bead and the 5 bead and the separation bar. You guys can get creative and we would love to see what you come up with.
And if you share it on Flipgrid, then
let me stop.
Many people can see, everybody who's in our group. No one outside of our group can see it, but if you share it on there, then we can see what everybody did. So hopefully you'll do that.
Yes. And I think also it can be emailed to the response, and we can maybe put some of the pictures of your guys' Oreo abacus into our slides tomorrow and share it with the group. That would be really fun to see.
Okay, well, I think we're out of time. So we can't wait to see what those extension activities look like.
How do we use Flipgrid? It is an app, and there's a link that'll be sent in the email this evening with the extension activity that you can click on that link and it will take you into Flipgrid, either on a computer or on a phone.
Right, it's web-based too. So
I think if the app doesn't show up under Flipgrid, I think they've named it Flip now.
Yeah.
Not sure, but it's downloaded as Flip. So I have a feeling that a lot of our young builders are going to run low on building supplies, because I'm not sure how long I could abstain from eating those Oreo cookies in front of me. So I wish everyone really good luck with the building those Oreo towers on their free time.
Yep.
But anyhow, I want to thank you both for a wonderful lesson today. Thank you to ACS Captions for assuring access today. I'm going to go ahead and pause our recording at this time to let our captionist sign off.